What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, man, I keep telling you guys, all of the signs are here. Now, more than ever before, I've been talking about gold and silver. So let's get some things out of the way. One is I can't tell you what you should and shouldn't do with any of your investments. The choice has to be yours. All I can do is just kind of tell you guys what I'm doing and then show you guys the news, and it's up to you. Just like any other, and I know you guys don't like these words, but I'm going to say just like any other investment, there are risks involved. But some of them could be what we call calculated risk. Okay? As for gold and silver, I just don't see the risk there. I don't. If anything, I see the great possibilities. Now, you guys seen me play that video before where the guy is saying the greatest opportunity of our lifetime is sitting at your feet. As usual, I'm going to come by and show you guys more evidence that this is actually happening. Real quick, we have Pimpy's investment chat. It's the same name as a YouTube channel. It's a Facebook group. It's free to join. We do talk about gold and silver along with foreign currency investments, cryptocurrencies, and stocks as well. It's free to join. Come on in. The link is in the description. I have a second group called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. This one here is where you put all your political stuff. This one here is where you can post all these things that other people might consider a conspiracy. So let's get into what I'm talking about. This is X22. If you guys not heard of X22, I highly recommend you look him up, X22 Report. So he started to talk about something. He's saying that the Federal Reserve, they just came out, the central banks, they're saying, look, we're in a crisis. It's going to crash. And I agree with them. It's weird that they're actually admitting it. Okay, the fact that they're actually admitting it is actually kind of scary, but it also seems very planned to me. Okay, so let's just hear a little bit what he has to say.
The debt level is still there. Their system is crashing. And remember, as Trump continually creates the people's economy, at the same time keeping the central bank illusion alive, the United States is going to look better and better and stronger and stronger. And the central bankers, they're starting to recognize this. They're starting to realize that the system is falling apart. And they're telling the people that there's change coming. Now, normally central bankers, when they're ready to crash the system and they're ready to cover it up, they don't mention any of this. Normally, they stay very quiet. They tell you that everything is going okay, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden the system falls completely apart.
That's the same thing I was telling you. This is what they do. What they also will do is artificially pump up stock market. They will pump it up a lot of money. And the great thing about Trump is this. He's not allowing them to do stock buybacks, these companies. And that should be a huge indicator because he says he's giving them until September then they can start buying back stocks, which in my opinion, now again, this is only my opinion, means Trump, whatever he's going to do is going to happen between now and September, or else why is he allowing him to do the stock buybacks then? Okay, see what I'm saying? So what they're going to do is artificially try to pump up the stock market. I think they're going to try to find a way to try to drive down the value of gold and silver, but don't, mark my words on this, don't wait for it to happen. Because they've tried it several times. I told you guys in the other video. They keep trying to do that, and they're not successful at it. Too many people are moving everything into gold and silver. The difference between now and other times before is people now have access to way more information than they did before. Back in older days, you read newspapers, you might read magazines, you might watch the news, and they would just lie to you anyways. And only the rich would benefit from it. In 2007, 2008, we were nowhere near where we are now. Now we got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got ways to communicate and share information a lot faster, and it's a lot more available than before. So I think this is the problem that they're having. They can't figure out how to shake speculators. And one of the ways they can shake them is just to cause a panic. And that is try to find a way to drive down the value of gold and silver. So don't panic when it happens. All right, don't go, oh my God, Pimpy, man, I put so much money. Don't be one of these emotional people. Just laugh your ass off because it's just a fake drop. And just sit back and wait because it's going to shoot up like a damn rocket. Just picture yourself taking a beach ball or volleyball or something, a basketball, trying to hold it underwater. You keep trying to hold it, you're trying to hold it, and then eventually the ball just pops up. That's what's happening now. Okay, they're trying to hold it down. This is what he's talking about. Then I'm going to show you something else.
They never come out and say, listen, our system is not working. It's going to crash. Usually they blame it on something else after the crash or during the crash. Now,
like
we have
coronavirus?
Powell and Lagarde out there letting us know that there's going to be changes. Remember what Powell said, that the path ahead is likely to be challenging, lives and livelihoods have been lost, and uncertainty looms large. Christine Lagarde is out there saying that their recovery from the coronavirus pandemic will be restrained and will change parts of the economy permanently.
Oh, yeah, it's going to change parts of the economy permanently. That I can guarantee you. And what part are they talking about? Will Powell decouple gold from the stock market? Yes. This week, and okay, this article is from May 21st, so it's a little old, but sorry I missed it. But nonetheless, the message is still the same. This week, Powell gave a long television interview as a testimony to the Senate. What groundbreaking did he say? What groundbreaking thing, I guess is what they should have put in there, however way they tapped that. And what did his remarks imply for the gold market? So Powell gave an interview and he testified for the Senate. Powell dominated media news this week. On Sunday, the Fed chair gave an interview with CBS News magazine 60 Minutes. Well, on Tuesday, he testified before Congress. What did he say? In the interview, Powell tried to persuade viewers that the Fed has not exhausted its power to help the economy. We're not out of ammunition by a long shot. So there's a lot more we can do to support the economy. And it's committed to doing everything that we can as long as we need to. But are you really so powerful? If you need to convince others that you're powerful, that's a good point there, whoever wrote the article. He also reiterated his bearish views from the recent speech to a Peterson Institute International Economics on the U.S. economic growth in 2020, in which he said that in the second quarter, the GDP would drop down to 20-30% on an annualized basis, while the unemployment rate could soar as high as 20 to 25%. Although the GDP will start to recover in the third quarter, it will take some time to pick up steam, and the economy won't get back where it was before the outbreak of the Rona. Okay, but actually it is starting to do a V-shape. We've seen 7.5 million jobs recovered, but nonetheless, Trump keeps dumping as much debt on the Federal Reserve, and it's done that way for a reason. These people have been ripping this off. Trump is sacking them, and they're doing that to central banks around the world. Powell also said that Congress should spend more money to prevent mass bankruptcies, and this is not the time to worry about long-term consequences on the rising Fed balance sheets and federal debt. Of course it's not. They plan on crashing the system. So what you're seeing is this. All these people going, Trump's just helping out his corporate buddies. No, he's not. Because if he wasn't, he would allow them to do stock buybacks. Okay? That's what he's doing. He's telling them that their loans are only forgiven as long as they use the money to help their employees. But if they use the money and don't help their employees, they got to pay it back with interest. And they can't use it to buy back stock. So no, Trump is absolutely, positively, 100% helping the people. He's causing the Fed to buy up debt everywhere. And we're seeing it happen. And that includes student loans. I did a video about that as well. Okay, so anyways, where we at here? So I love this. I'm going to reread it again. Powell also said that the Congress should spend more money to prevent mass bankruptcies, and that is not the time to worry about the long-term consequences of the rising Fed balance sheets and the federal debt. So investors could be prepared for even more interventions from the Fed and the Treasury. New lending and spending programs should support gold prices. Okay, as the precious metals investors, contrary to bureaucrats and policymakers, really do think about long-term effects. After all crises leave scars, and the Rona will be no exception. So how is this affected? Well, let's find out. In his testimony before Senate Banking Committee, Powell basically reiterated what he said earlier. First of all, he assured that the Fed could do much more. Yeah, we're just going to keep pumping out money like never before. He said, we are committed to using our full range of tools to support the economy in this challenging time, even as we recognize that these actions are only part of a broader public sector response. Implication for gold. So Powell does not expect, and we neither, the V-shaped recovery. Actually, Powell said some sectors of the economy will recover only after the emergence of the vaccine. This is also what he said several times. Only vaccines will fully restore the confidence amongst households, entrepreneurs, and investors. And without such confidence, the recovery of the U.S. economy will not be vivid. The lack of vigorous rebound creates a downside risk for the global stock market, but it's rather positive for the gold market. So far, we claim the U-shaped recovery, or even L-shape in some sectors, is more likely. However, there might be also a W-shaped path, a stop-go economy where the economy swings between contractions and growth, between lockdowns and reopenings, depending on the number of new infections. So, manic depressive economy should be positive for the gold prices. Perhaps even more than the U-shaped recovery, as there is much more uncertainty in the former scenario. Importantly, Powell cautious remarks and worries about the U-shaped or W-shaped recovery could cool stock market bulls. Over the last few days, we have seen a possible decoupling of the tandem upsides moves in gold and equities, as the chart below shows. So the uncoupling is usually we're seeing gold and silver behave the same way with the market. It has been, when technically it shouldn't. So if we start to see where people are pumping money into gold and silver and taking it out of the stock market, it's going to cause a panic. And what does that do to gold and silver? It's already scarce now. It's already scarce now. Did I say it's already scarce now? It's going to cause the damn prices to shoot up like a rocket. That's what the hell you're going to see. Gold prices, yellow lines right here, and the S&P index in the green. January the 2nd through May. Look at this. So stock prices dropping, gold going up. They're still almost mirroring each other, but they're starting to decouple. That's what we're looking for. Gold and silver investors. Yeah, you could do the Pimpy dance. Go ahead, you could do that. The price of gold went further up, while the S&P came under pressure and seemingly started trading sideways. It is, of course, yet to be seen whether the real decoupling will actually occur, but there's no doubt that in case it does, it could be big positive change in the gold market. No, there is no ifs, ands, and if it does, it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it's going to happen. If you enjoyed today's free gold report, oh, never mind, invite somebody. It's just a thing. Okay, so look, that's where we're watching. We need to watch the graphs on these. So gold and S&P in 2020. Okay, so this was a few weeks ago. We're going to see this trend continue. I'm telling you, the people are going to keep lying to you in the media. Well, no, here's a freaky thing about that is some people are being brutally honest. I told you guys this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Many of you are going, I hope it happens real quick. You can't go into any investment expecting it to happen overnight and you'll be rich overnight. That isn't how it's going to work. We've already seen, and I showed you guys in a video, that Bank of America has recasted its forecast for gold and silver. They're expecting it to hit $3,000 within 18 months. I don't. I expect it to happen before the end of this year, if not much quicker. All right? That's just my opinion. They're going to keep trying to artificially pump up the stock market, you can see here, and they're going to try to drive down. They're going to try to keep a panic from happening. Drive down the value of gold and silver. They're not going to be successful, my friends. Look, in a worst case scenario, you can always sell the gold and silver back. How? Speaking of that, let's get into this really quick. A lot of you have been taking my suggestion, going over to Money Metals Exchange. I did a great video about other programs that they have. I really think you should look at us because they have a lot to offer. A lot of you guys have IRA accounts. You should talk to them about switching your IRA accounts over. Some of you asked me about that. They're the experts. Give them a call. 800-800-1865. You tell them that Pimpy sent you. You can ask all the questions you want. They got knowledge. It's free. There's a ton of programs that you guys can take advantage of. For you people that, and I got one of you guys getting ready to pick up $2 million worth of gold and silver. Okay, this is great. But there is some concern about where to store it. I told you guys they actually have a fully separate from what they buy and sell as far as gold is concerned versus storing for people, unlike the comics who screwed people over. All right, give them a call. Ask what they could do for you. They're the experts. Let them help you. All right. And to you, that gentleman out there that's going to buy $2 million, make sure you let them know that Pimpy sent you, and I'll be very grateful. And in return, they will give you, other than a bunch of great gold and silver, they will give you a half ounce silver coin just for mentioning Pimpy's name. And me, I will be forever grateful for such a purchase. Okay, you guys, everybody knows, look, I've disclosed to everybody, look, I have worked something out with Money Metals because I've been sending people to AppMix for a long time. Somebody actually said, I think Pimpy's just doing this so he could get free stuff. Dude, are you nuts? I've been talking to people about buying gold and silver now for months and send them to AppMix and got nothing in return. So I'm very grateful to have found somebody to work with. Money Metals Exchange. It's not changing the way I feel about gold and silver. It doesn't change the way I encourage you guys and show you guys the information. I just found a platform that's willing to work with us, and they're doing it at some damn great rates. All right, so everybody, tomorrow's Monday. Call them up, ask all your questions, let me know how it goes. Yeah, and they love you guys. They have nothing but great things to say about you, and I've heard nothing but great things from you guys, so I'm really grateful for that. But again, I'm showing you, I'm not just saying it's possible, I'm showing you it's already in the works. All right, so I'll leave this article so you guys can come and check it out. And I encourage you guys to go check out X22 Report. On this one, it says panicking. They just admitted their system is doomed. All right, this came out July the 5th. Came out today. So go check it out. Look at her face. They know the economy is crashing or the system is going to crash. They need to move into the new one. So make sure you're positioned to come out on the other end very, very wealthy. All right, you guys, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so because it helps out the channel. And when you do, I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later.